This morning, President Trump is set to be briefed by Mike Pompeo on what he learned about the seemingly gruesome death of that person right there, the Washington Post columnist in Saudi Arabia.
Mr. Khashoggi, our next guest claims there is something the United States can do to make sure people are held accountable. Here to explain, Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, Khashoggi was not an American citizen. He was a resident. And you say the U.S. government could go kidnap the guys they suspect of having done this.
And bring them here and prosecute them. So the murder of an American citizen or a person lawfully resident in the United States, when the murder occurs in another country, is a federal crime here. And in the Reagan administration, when this happened, President Reagan dispatched agents, intelligence as well as FBI, to kidnap an individual and bring him here. But he said to the judge, look, I was kidnapped. The judge said, I don't care how you got here. Yeah. You're here. Here's an indictment. We're going to try the case. If you think these guys kidnapped you, sue them. Judge, so it can happen.
Judge, this is so gruesome when you read the details, and they're too gory to talk about this morning because people are eating their breakfast. But this guy, he lives in Virginia, has a house in Virginia, 4 kids. 3 of his kids were born here in the United States. What does the president need to do? Because he's stuck. I mean, he doesn't want to jeopardize jobs.
The president has a lot of factors to balance. You know, Saudi Arabia is the linchpin, along with Israel, of our foreign policy in that part of the world. Saudi Arabia, of course, has enormous investments in the United States, in Turkey, and in other places that we want to see flourish economically. But the president has to put this fire out. The behavior is so morally repellent, so totally and universally, except perhaps in Saudi Arabia government, unacceptable that he has to do something. Our friend, whom we've known and interviewed for years, Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham, is saying, we got to persuade them through intelligence sources to get rid of the prince and replace him with one of his older, more mature brothers, of which he has 13.
The go sign throughout the Middle East to say it's okay to start cutting up journalists around the Middle East if we let this go unconfronted.
I think the president
In fact, Jonathan Swan reported this, that Mike Pompeo says a source told him that Pompeo told MBS, the prince, in very direct language, that there isn't some endless timeline here in terms of investigation. They need to get this investigation done quickly. Turkey has the tapes. There's nothing to be done.
Let me tell you that what the rumors are inside the Beltway, that the intelligence sources are suggesting another prince replace him, and they're checking boxes on his background. I don't want to tell you who
sure
this
he's
person.
Clean.
Right. Financial background, check. Intelligence background, check. Managerial background, check. More mature and not as reckless as the present crown prince.
Would there be a trial in Saudi Arabia against the crown prince?
No. I can't imagine that the king
Some people have said the prince was a reformer. He's like in his early 30s. I think he's 32, 34, and a lot of people like what he's doing over there.
Except the murder part kind of
clouds
that resume.
There's reform and there's reform. He kidnapped wealthy Saudis and had them beaten to within an inch of their lives until they turned billions in assets over to the government. What kind of reform is that?
They go to other countries killing people they don't like. Not good.
How can we trust these audio tapes and these videos? That's from Turkey.
Well, that's what the American intelligence community has to do. I believe the audio tapes have been verified, and the American intelligence community has done so and summarized it for the president. The Secretary of State will enhance what those tapes tell by giving him more.
Okay, now the move is probably up to the president. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Judge, thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure, guys.